Welcome to Syntax. Happy holidays. Today we have a sick pick-isode. This is an episode we actually haven't done for a couple of years. I think 2020 was the last year that we did it. And the people have spoken. They want it back. So here we are. This is the Syntax Holiday Gift Guide. And if you like the sick picks of things that we pick every Wednesday, you're going to love this episode because it's an entire episode of us talking about our sick picks and basically just like things that would make a good gift for developers, things that would make good gifts for people in your life who like nice things. I like nice things. I like good things. And I love talking about this stuff, quite honestly. So I'm glad it's back.
Do you also like open source software, Wes?
I love open source software. Tell me about it.
Do you like to support open source software?
I absolutely like to support open source software. How could a company do that, Scott?
Well, they should check out opensourcepledge.com. It's a way that you can pledge to support the software that you're using. When we joined Sentry, one of the first things they did is they hooked it up so that we were going to be donating to all the projects that we had inside of our package.json. And to me, that was one of the coolest things in the world. And so I love that the open source pledge is here. And you actually if you go to opensourcepledge.com/members, you can see the teams based on how many people work there, so how much dollar per dev they're giving to open source. And honestly, these are the companies that I want to support because they're supporting the projects that we all rely on. So if you want to check out and join the open source pledge, head on to opensourcepledge.com and give this thing a raid. And if your company qualifies, join the pledge.
All right. So we have broken down our gift guide into our favorites, where we're going to list 3 or 4 of our absolute favorite things. Games, under $30 gifts, clothing, desk items, kids items, house items, kitchen items, eatables. I was going to call it edibles, but for reasons, I'm not going to call them that. And smart home, finishing it off with. So honestly, I could talk about this for hours, but let's start off with our absolute favorites. These things are not going to be just web development related, but just as somebody with mediocre taste, these are things that I quite enjoy. Quite honestly, Scott's sick picks are very good because I often find myself just buying them myself after he's talked about them.
Yeah, I have the same problem, Wes. That is, I guess you could call that a problem.
Yes. I'm going to sick pick something. I got to make sure my phone number is on it. I can't show it. A Leatherman Arc. This is a knife multi-tool all-in-one that my wife got me for Christmas last year after I had wanted a Leatherman for many years, but never could commit on a specific one. And the Leatherman Arc is so fantastic because it has absolutely everything in it. It's got pliers. It has a really nice knife on it. It has a pair of scissors. It has a file. The scissors and the knife are probably the 2 that I use most often, along with the pliers where you just need to pull something out. And this is what we call in the industry an EDC, an everyday carry. And I have this thing on me at all times. And it is so dang handy. From cutting kids' chicken nuggets up, opening boxes, everyday things, to, oh man, this thing is bent, I need to fix it, I never have to go find a screwdriver or a pair of pliers or whatever. This is always in my pocket. And I never thought that I would like it because it's relatively big, but it's one of those things where I tap my pockets and I go, oh, if it's not on me, I kind of panic. So get somebody a multi-tool. This one's called the Leatherman Arc. It's probably the best one you can buy. And it's one of those things, you get your name engraved on it because if you lose it, you will cry. But it's one of these things that you probably have forever, and you can endlessly. Leatherman's a really cool company. It's made in the USA. All of the parts on it are replaceable. They have a really good warranty. So just one of those forever items.
Yeah. I'm going to sick pick. I guess we don't have to say that before every single one. One of my favorite things on my desk is the Anker Cube. I have this. The Anker Cube is a 3-in-1 Anker charger, and it's built like a brick. I could throw this thing through a window, so it's very solid. It'll charge your iDevices all at once, because to me, I have all these devices. I have all the Apple devices, but it's like I'm on the road sometimes, and this thing, you just chuck it in your bag. But I really just keep mine on my desk all the time anyways, and it's my like main charger or whatever. It sits my phone up nicely while I'm working. It is a little bit expensive, but all of the kind of 3-in-1 chargers are. So if you're hucking out the cash for one of these 3-in-1 chargers anyways, this one I really, really like, and I kind of get it as a gift for everybody that I know has an iPhone and likes these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing about these chargers is that if you do cheap out on them, you're either giving up like charge speed or like safety, because like some of them are kind of sketchy, right? Like Anker is a really good company and I trust their stuff. And if someone were to come out with one that was like $29, I would kind of be a little bit suspicious of it, because it's doing quite a bit. I didn't realize like it's such a good idea to put your phone on it while you're at your desk, because then you can glance at your phone without having to pick it up. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it just sits here. And in that same Anker realm, I also have like the Anker Mag Go, where we did a little bit of traveling this year. I spoke at some conferences and stuff, and your phone battery dies. I'm always installing the beta software on my phone, so my phone dies especially fast. Mm-hmm. But Anker makes, and I don't have it on my desk sadly, but a little MagSafe battery pack. That's a good, I think it's like 10 milliwatt hours or whatever. It's a lot. It's big. And it MagSafes onto the back of your iPhone, and then you have battery charge for the whole day. Toss it in your bag or whatever. You don't have to worry about finding a charger. I've also found that to be a nice little thing to have around.
Yeah, that's... When I go traveling, I get like an eSIM, and the battery, when you have a second eSIM, the battery just drops like significantly. And I always find myself, like, you go out to eat when you're traveling, and then you plug in, and I always have this big cable where I'm trying to charge as fast as possible. But this would be kind of a nice little thing to lay your phone on and charge it up. I'm not a big MagSafe guy.
What?
Mostly because it gets so hot. But like we have it in our car, and like I never use it because it's slow and hot. But I think like a proper MagSafe is faster. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't necessarily worry about speed because it's on my desk, right? So it's just kind of charging it all day long if I need it to. So the speed thing isn't a super big concern because I'm never like, I got to get this thing charged up real quick before I go. But the MagSafe thing, I guess the battery, again, you just kind of leave it attached for a little bit and you're good to go. I pretty much exclusively charge via MagSafe these days.
Wow. My next one is something, if you need to get a bunch of people the same gift, I'm going to tell you, get a bucket of Maldon sea salt flakes and a bunch of really nice wooden salt cellars. So these are the gifts where they're not very expensive, but it's like, ooh, that's nice. And I use Maldon salt on everything. It's these really nice crystals. You can buy a smoked version of it as well. And for a couple of years ago, what I did is I bought these nice like Weck jars, which is kind of like a mason jar, with these clips on it. And then I filled them up with this nice salt and gave them to everybody in my family. However, I'm thinking I probably should have gave them a salt cellar, because with that, you just flip the lid open, sprinkle it on your food, and close the lid. And I love having a salt cellar at our house. So for, I don't know, probably for $11 per person, you can get a really nice gift. I would love to receive that.
That's fun. I have one here that you can go brand name or you can go generic with it. I initially bought one of these because at the time there wasn't generic versions of this. So I have like an older Theragun, so one of the older ones, and man, I use this thing all the time in my desk, whatever, just on my shoulders. I made sure I got one for my dad the moment I got this because
it's a massage gun. You should say what a Theragun is.
Yes, sorry, it's a massage gun. Really, what it does is it just hits you really fast over and over again. And it's like a percussive massager, they call it. And this thing just goes, bah, 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 bah. It's pretty amazing. And the non-brand name ones are by all means, I don't know if they're just as good, but I've seen these things, and lots of people have the $40, $30 ones. I've linked one of them in here that I know has been decent. They actually even come with a lot more. They come with like 6 or 7 different attachments for the non-brand names. And the Theragun one, you're paying $100 something for it. At the time, I didn't have a choice just because that's all there was available. But I think
now
if I
there's
were to
tons
get
of
one
them.
today, I would get one of these non-brand name ones for cheap.
I got one for $8 at a garage sale.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, it works fine. So I bought it and it didn't work fine. The battery was shot on it. So I hacked it and it runs on a DeWalt battery now.
Yes. I love it. Classic.
It's great. I love it. I've taught my kids to use it on me. My next one here is a backpack, the Peak Design Everyday Bag. I've had this backpack for, I think, 8 years now. And aside from a little bit of peeling on one of the laminated zippers, it's like looks brand new. And this is a backpack that I take traveling with me absolutely everywhere. Twice a week, I bring it to my daughter's ballet. I throw it in the back of the car. I use it as my like luggage whenever I go to the cottage. Like this thing gets use out of it and it still looks brand new. And every time people come up with a like, what's the backpack I should get? I'm always like Peak Design Everyday 30 liter, which is the bigger version of it. Scott, you have it. Pretty much everyone who's a developer has it. Yeah, Scott has it there.
Mine's handy. It's like it's always kind of handy. So
yeah. Well, mine's right here. Hold on.
It's crazy. We just have these things sitting here. I haven't even been anywhere. Yeah.
So like, look at this. I got my Mux water bottle in the side here. The sides open up so beautifully. And you can see that I have a Syntax skate deck in there, some socks, some stickers. I was just at a conference, and man, I honestly don't know if I'll ever get another backpack. Not because I love it, but I just don't think I'll ever need one. Yeah, like 8 years, and it's great.
I've had mine for 5 or 6.
I'll show the people what I mean about the you see the zipper there is starting to fray.
It's so pretty good for 8 years, though. I've never had a backpack last that long.
Oh man,
especially with like the heavy stuff that we carry in it. And I use mine. I use mine anywhere if I'm traveling or whatever. I've taken it all over the place. The only downside about this backpack is that airport security will not know how to open it, and you will have to show them how to open it every time if they need to. They're like, "What do you do with this thing?" Yeah,
and it has a luggage pass through as well, which is key when you are traveling because you can put it over the handle of your roller luggage.
Nice.
So highly recommend. That's one of those ones that you get it for somebody, and they're going to be like, every time they use it, they're going to be like, "Damn, that was a good gift."
Yeah. Here's a good gift for developers. A subscription to Cursor, ChatGPT, Claude, one of these AI services. If they haven't already, you can buy a year at a time. I get a lot of value out of this. I get a lot of value out of Cursor. I get a lot of value out of Claude. Personally, I do use these tools somewhat frequently, not just to help me with, writing code, but to help me evaluate decisions and just help around. So I do think these are incredibly powerful and useful tools if people haven't given them a try yet.
Well, also, we should say our own stuff as well. If you have a web developer, I know that web developer partners listen to this podcast to get ideas, and you can get them a hat, get them a Syntax t-shirt, get a Syntax skate deck. We have Syntax koozies, we have Syntax basketballs, Syntax skateboards. We got it all. So go to sentry.shop and grab some Syntax branded merch for the web developer in your life.
Word. Sick. I have a bunch of games here. I know Wes doesn't play any games, so I can just kind of breeze through some of these games.
Yeah.
I know developers like this game. They recently released an update, and there was a crazy amount of people playing it at once, and therefore I believe the entire internet suffered a major productivity decrease, which is Factorio. And this game is so funny because you feel like you're playing a game, and then after, I don't know, a little bit, you just kind of look at the game and you're like, wait a second, am I programming right now? I'm doing work. I'm playing.
What do you build?
Man, you build systems. That's what you build. This needs that, which gets processed by that, and then you build it all through connections, right? You're putting things on conveyor belts to then process this, to process that. And when you take a big view of the out of it, you're kind of like just building these little kind of micro conditional loops that do this and that, and then send it over here. And then that, it's a lot of pattern development. You're building a factory, essentially, of creating things to accomplish goals. So Factorio is one of those games where it feels like work, but it's not. And I mean, it doesn't feel like work. I should say it feels like it is programming, but it's not work. And it actually man, I think it might even get you to be a little bit better at being a developer somehow because you're having to develop these systems and think through what they could be like. We had a board game that was picked by one of our guests, and this board game is Cascadia. Man, I bought this board game, and man, we really like to play this. I don't. The kids really enjoy it. Now, there's like a more complex version of this game. It was picked by Anna Poblitz in episode 710, and it's just a game where you're building ecosystems of animals, and you got to put little chips for the different animals, and you have the different ecosystem cards, and it is again a very pattern-based game. So you're building patterns, and how you're building these ecosystems gets you more points. And it's supposed to be for, I don't know, kids 7 or 8 and up. But my 5-year-old daughter like loves this game, and she can hang. She does really good in it, and so does my son. They both like are able to pick it up, and because it's so animals based, the kids really like it to be like, oh, I'm building my eagle colony, I'm building my elk or whatever, and it's a lot of fun. Another board game is Azul. This is a board game we play a lot with family. We have my sister and brother-in-law. When they come into town, they're always bringing board games. And this is another kind of like pattern-y game. So I think developers will like this type of thing because you're trying to build out tiles and patterns of tiles and their strategy into it. So anybody who's got visual spatial, they like visual spatial pattern kind of stuff. These games will both be right up your alley. And lastly, the last game thing I have on here is the Steam Deck. Now, I think the Steam Deck has sold a ton of these things, so a lot of people have heard of the Steam Deck by now, and many of the times people who wanted this thing already have it. But it's the coolest. It's a little computer. It runs Linux. You can sideload. You can put Windows on it if you want, but it runs Linux, and it actually has like a full-on the Steam OS UI, which is it's like a video game UI, but I don't know what it is about Steam, but they understand tinkerers, because what do? Built into the OS is a go to desktop mode, and it just takes you to a regular old Linux desktop. And
oh man,
you can use the touch screen, you can use your keyboard, you can install packages on here. So you can install all kinds of stuff on here from Linux. And therefore, because of that, it's turned into like a major hacker device where people make all kinds of software for it and extensions onto it and UIs and things like that. So
I was actually looking at this the other day because my kids came and their cousins got a Switch. And I was like, they're like, we want a Switch. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like how hackable is that? Because what I would love is, I realized that because I was like researching these, like you can buy these little emulator sticks that you like plug into HDMI for like $29 or whatever. And I was like, that probably is really laggy because of how small it is. But then I was like, what's the like best hardware you can run like N64 games on and emulate all this stuff? And everyone says Steam Deck is the move for that.
I have every Nintendo 64 game on it. I have all the Super Nintendo games. Yeah, I run all the emulators on it. And I think there is even people running emulated Nintendo Switch on here, which I have not gotten into, but I believe
that seems a little legally dubious in that
area.
Well,
it's all legally dubious,
yeah, but like the N64 emulators I don't feel as bad because it's like you're not selling that anymore,
Totally.
Actually, I don't really know much about video games, so maybe I shouldn't be talking.
Well, yeah, I do run N64 on mine, and I do like that. I could run a Wii on here. I don't know if there's any sort of Wii games I'm dying to have on my Steam Deck.
Hacked our Wii, man. It was like going back in time. I was like putting custom OS on it, and that was good.
I hacked our Wii, man. I hacked it.
All right, let's talk about under $30 gifts for the love of your life. A braided USB cable. There's something in me is just trying to replace every cable on my desk with a braided version. Because my cables are always an absolute mess, but there's something nice about when they're messy and braided at the same time. And also when they're braided, I can tell what they're for because I remember in my head, the yellow and green one is for my camera. And I feel like it makes things a little bit easier. And like everybody has so many crappy cables. Get somebody a nice long braided cable with a fast charger. That's a good life.
Yeah, that's a good life. I have on here a Thunderbolt cable with a right angle.
Ooh.
which I didn't know I necessarily needed in my life. And I got one, and it plugs into the side of my laptop as my, my main laptop power and everything like that. And
Yeah.
it's just so nice that it's at a right angle. It's just like a little L plugging into my computer and going straight out the back instead of like, like sticking out like octopus arms out of my computer. Yeah, I like this thing.
Yeah, right. I was actually looking into that for my camera, HDMI angled, because the HDMI and the USB-C comes out of my camera, and I would love for it to go just straight back or straight up, actually, in my case.
Well, sadly, I want mine to go up or down because that's the way the angle one would be.
Yeah, it depends on your device.
Sadly, the only one they made was going straight up rather than going down. And I would prefer it to go down. So now it's like up and over, which is still better than hanging out because then it gets pulled and comes out. Now it doesn't come out at least. But yeah, I do have one of those and I do like it.
I was looking at, I went down even the ribbon cable rabbit hole. So if you go on AliExpress and you search HDMI ribbon cable, you can buy every single angle of HDMI, mini, micro, and there's like 3 versions of HDMI.
I know, yeah.
And you can essentially just make your own custom angled cable, which I think I might do to make it nice and low profile.
I love it.
At least if you have like a TV that needs to go against the wall, that's probably a good idea. Grab one of these little angles. The Battery Daddy is something I'm going to tell you to get. If you have a lot of batteries and you need to be able to organize them, the Battery Daddy is a awesome storage case. It comes with a little battery voltmeter inside of it. There's space for all of the different types of batteries. If you don't use like D and C batteries all that much anymore, I would probably look at some of the alternatives. I know there's some nice zipper cases because I found that it could use a little bit more space for button cells and less space for C and D batteries. But we have enough stuff around the house that I still use C and D batteries, unfortunately.
You know what I need, Wes?
What?
I need a good rechargeable CR2 battery. These things... They go in my smart lock for my door, and they burn out so quickly.
Oh, CR2. That's a weird one.
It's annoying because all of the rechargeable ones are apparently terrible. And so it's like, somebody's got to get out there and make a good rechargeable one. Because I'm buying batteries. That's crazy. I'm not buying rechargeable batteries. What am I doing? I love rechargeable batteries. So
it's crazy because CR2s are lithium. Usually you can't recharge batteries because there's some other chemistry.
What's up with that? Yeah.
Can you not just charge? Just try put a whole bunch of power to one of them and see if it explodes.
They do make. Actually, what the heck? There's an Amazon Basics one now. I swear this was in here like 2 weeks ago. An Amazon Basics CR2. Man, I promise this was not here because I would have bought this already. Oh my! Well, I got a little sick pick for myself this episode.
Oh man, have you tried the rechargeable ones that have the USB port in the battery itself?
The reviews are super spotty on them, and then it says like at top of Amazon, frequently returned item. So then I'm like,
not nearly as good. Oh man,
yeah, is that like worth the hassle?
Yeah, that's true. It's you don't use batteries that much I still use batteries quite a bit, but a lot of stuff is like starting to have internal batteries, which is good, but also bums me out when they die because then people just throw them out instead of like open them up and replace the battery.
My kids do not understand the external battery thing. They're just like, why can't you just charge it? Well, you can't just charge everything. They don't always have. No. Yeah, they're so funny about it.
My kids are pros. They know where to go in the office. They know how to open the Battery Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
They know the AA, AAA.
I'm going to sick pick, or I'm going to a holiday pick. I'm going to reindeer pick a MagSafe pop socket. So I've had a lot of MagSafe stuff. You know what? If you're on Android too, you can get little MagSafe ring adapters for the back of your phone. It's worth it, especially if your phone has wireless charging. And look at how well this thing snaps. Wow,
Scott, that's amazing.
I was focusing on the doing. Okay, there we go. Snaps. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
Proper MagSafe stuff, or not necessarily proper, but like if you get good versions of magnet mounts, They're very good. I have one on my rack when I'm working out, and just the whole phone clips into it, and you can put it anywhere on the rack, and it just is. Magnets are the best, man.
Yeah, magnets. What I really like about this is that I don't rock a Kate, so for me it's like I'm not dropping this
risky.
thing. Oh, yeah, not dropping it. Yeah, so
I can't. I would like to do that, but I find like when I'm laying in bed on my phone, I find the phone slides out of my hand when I'm not using a case. It's too slippery. It's like a oiled
it's gonna
seal.
slide out of your hand. Oh
no, I don't do it above me.
It's gonna slide out of your hand.
I need a pop socket for bed, maybe.
Yeah, it does not slide out of my hand.
Go to sleep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Under $30 gift, apple cider and nutmeg hand lotion. Man, this stuff smells amazing. If you want your hands to smell like apple cider, get a bottle of it. It's from this company called Hemp's, HEMPZ, which is a little bit, sounds like recreational drugs, but it is really nice and it smells amazing. And
hemp can be used for a lot of things, Wes.
It can be. Yes.
It's a highly useful material. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Rope. I actually had some hemp shoes one time. They were skate shoes, and they were made of hemp. I forget, iPath was the brand, I believe. They were like my favorite shoes in the whole world. I love those shoes. They were really super cool.
Man, iPath. I forgot about them.
I know. I have an iPath hoodie that I still do wear sometimes, but it's like the paint's mostly off of it. I do miss that brand. It looks like maybe they're still around.
Oh, yeah, all those brands are still around. It's amazing how many people wear split shirts too, but you can buy it at Winners now, which is Winners in Canada is the equivalent to TJ Maxx in the States. Yes, that's what that is.
And it looks like they still do sell hemp shoes, not the ones that I had, but they do still sell hemp shoes. Well, so shout out to iPath for that decision. I'm gonna pick probably one of the only like dude specific things. I was trying to keep it not dude focused, but man, I got this body wash. It's Cremo body wash. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more in the next episode, but yeah, it just smells really good. It smells like it just got like a very manly kind of dude scent, and they have all these different options. So if you're looking for like a men's body wash and you haven't found anything that you've enjoyed, I do really like this one, this Cremo body wash. And they have all sorts of different, yeah.
That's a great gift. It's $8, stocking stuffer, get it for someone in your life. I would love to receive something like that. Hint, hint. Scott, you send me one.
Yeah, you want me to send you some body wash? Okay.
That would be really weird. Who's thinking of body wash? Scott did. All right, let's talk about clothing. Some things I love in clothing is I've been wearing selvage denim for probably 22 years. I went back in my Facebook at one point and looked for the first pair of selvage jeans I ever wore. So if you aren't aware, selvage jeans are a type of denim that is extremely tough. It's knit in a certain way. It wears really nicely. Usually it's raw, meaning that it's just dark blue. And then as you sit on someone's white couch, you leave a big white blue stain, but they start to look cool after wearing them. And I have worn several brands over the years. My favorite is Naked and Famous. And I've changed my cuts over the year just as styles change, But Naked and Famous jeans, they're from Canada, made of Japanese denim. Highly recommend it. They also have another brand where they make the exact same jeans, but they manufacture them overseas, and it's called Unbranded. And they are pretty much the same cuts, same quality. They're just manufactured elsewhere, so you can look into that. And then I also have been wearing, ever since I have kids, I've been wearing the Uniqlo stretch selvage a little bit, which is just a little bit of stretch in it, because you're always kneeling down, doing shoes up and whatnot. It's funny because I used to blow out the crotch of my jeans very quickly. Not very quickly, but that was the first thing that went, which maybe too much. For jeans people, we talk about blowouts a lot, right? It's when the jeans rip or something at some spot, and usually between your legs is where it goes first, right? But now since I've had kids, the knees always blow out on them first because I'm always bending down doing shoes up or something. So the stretch one from Uniqlo are very good and also very affordable. I think it's like $50 a pair Canadian for some, like I'm a bit of a jean snob, and affordable jeans are usually not something that pops up in the selvage world. So this is a good pair.
Yeah. Well, my pick is gonna be a little bit less crazy than the selvage jeans because it's you wear Duer jeans, Duer jeans, and they do stretch, so they have a bit of stretch in them. But I found that they're a nice compromise between like price, stretch jean, and like they last a long time. I'm not saying that the Uniqlo selvage ones, because I've worn the Uniqlo stretch ones that aren't the selvage ones, and they like. I personally like wore out the knees really quickly in them, but I'm also really hard on my jeans.
Oh yeah, I'm really hard on them too. And the Uniqlo ones are, I usually buy 2 or 3 pair at a time, and I get about 9 to 12 months out of a pair.
Yeah.
So pretty good. Every day I wear the same pair of jeans every single day. I never put them in the wash.
Yeah. Well, I have a funny story. The first time I gotten raw denim, I went, it was like the literal first day I wore them. I went to a University of Michigan football game, and anybody knows about University of Michigan, they have the largest stadium I think it's like the largest stadium in the US. It's massive. And I had to walk up and down like 100 stairs in these raw denim jeans.
Yeah, Chafe City.
Not even that. They were so like tight that I could not. It was like an episode of Friends with Ross in the tight pants or something. But I could not get up the steps. I was like having to like assist my legs by the end. It was hilarious. I was like, I took one step at the beginning of the stadium, and I was like, this is gonna be a problem today. So yeah, I survived though.
A wool toque, or as y'all say down south, a beanie.
Yeah, beanie.
I have never had like a proper wool toque in my life, and I was gifted one, and I've had it for probably 5 years now, and I love it. It's so lightweight, but also warm at the same time. And my wife would probably kill me because she's always talking about, my wife is in fashion, so she always talks about the actual materials that are used in things, and it always drives her crazy when people come to her being like, my kid is so hot. It's like, yeah, because your kid's wearing plastic. You stop putting them in plastic shirts from Walmart, It's not good. But I got a wool toque, and man, I don't know, but get one for 30, 40, $50, and they are super nice.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I go for, because I wear a lot of beanies. I got it right
here.
I wear a lot of, I was checking to see if I have mine anywhere. We could possibly beanie up, but I don't think I have mine in here. I'm a beanie guy myself. It's kind of a b-boy special, but for me, since I dance in them and I get them all nasty and I'm rolling around on the floor with them, I go to Target and I buy the cheapest beanies as possible. So I will sick pick or whatever the like $5 Target beanies that you can get, because they're not nice, but they're kind of disposable. If you're spinning on your head,
you're gonna need them.
You're going to need them. You'll rip through them. One place that I go to get a lot of clothes is Huckberry. Now, it's huckberry.com, and there is some expensive stuff on this site. I will say that. But you can find some deals on here, too, especially because they'll do like the thing where they only have things like a limited stock, and so you can get some cheaper prices on here. But I get this kind of stuff on here, like this kind of pullover sweater. That man, my pullover sweater kind of game from this site is pretty good, because
your pullover game is strong.
Pullover game is strong for sure. It is. It's nice stuff. All nice qualities, nice brands. And again, you're gonna hit moments where you're like, gosh darn, some of this stuff is expensive. But there is deals to be had if you wait for them. They
have a wax jacket, which is something I've been thinking about for a long time.
I got a wax jacket.
Do you really? Yeah, that's big in the like selvage denim world, is also get a wax jacket. But there's like a Filson wax jacket is like $800. So I don't know if I'll ever buy one, but they've got one for $300 on here.
Do you know where I got mine, Wes?
What?
We did a sponsorship from a really incredible clothing company, Armory.
Oh, that's where this beanie is from, actually.
Really?
Yeah, in New York. It's like a menswear clothing.
That's some crazy fancy clothes. And they let us pick out something, and I picked out a wax jacket. I gotta say, I love it. Makes me look good.
I went and visited them when I was in New York, and
cool.
Fancy. Such a cool. I've never been in such a nice store in my life. It was really kind of cool to see all the menswear things. I probably would never do it. I'm wearing a $20 t-shirt, but
Yeah, legit menswear. Like actually legit menswear for sure.
Totally. All right, let's talk about desk items. These are things for your desk that you may want. One thing I upgraded recently to is the MX Master 3S mouse. I had used the MX Master 2S for probably about 8 years, and I replaced the battery on it at one point, and it started not working one day, so I just went and bought the 3S, which the S means it's silent, so you don't hear the clicking in the microphone, which is kind of important to me. And it is such a nice mouse. I'm such a big fan of it's from Logitech. So I honestly think people are always like, it's not a good gaming mouse. The hertz is not fast enough for me. Like, I don't care about gaming. I care about I'm a web developer who has lots of shortcuts and needs a nice, comfortable mouse to use all day. And I think that the MX3S is the best mouse for web developers.
Word. Yeah, I'm a trackpad kind of guy, so I can't meet you on that one.
Oh,
Here's something I can though. Candles. Man, you got an office or a desk, your desk might not smell great. I got these candles. Man, I got them from Target. Target has a big old candle selection. I used to work at Target. Let me tell you, I was stocking those candles. But man, I love having a good candle on my desk. So I got these ones from Target. They're these nice little glass ones. I linked it which ones specifically these are.
Ooh, it's a nice container too.
Oh, it's nice. It's great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of having a candle on the desk.
Man, that container, Scott, when you're done, wash the thing out and then put salt in it. It's a nice little salt cellar, I think.
You need a lid for it, though. Actually, I do have a lid.
There is a lid. I'm just looking at the website.
I have a lid.
Yes.
Beauty.
Salt cellar. When you're done, you have to boil it or something to get all the wax out, but you can do it.
It's wax. That should be easy.
Yeah.
Famously, wax melts. Yeah.
I got my wife last year a wax melter, it's kind of like a lamp with a halogen bulb, and it melts a candle, and it makes the house smell really good, but it doesn't have a flame on all the time, which is kind of cool. So we use that quite a bit. We go to the body shop, buy the big round candles that they have, and the candles last way longer than if you were to burn them. So I've been a big fan of that.
That's it. I've never even heard that. That's something I don't even know about. Yeah.
Candle, what is it called? A candle melter?
Candle melter.
No, not a candle light. It's called a candle warmer lamp. I'll link up the one that I got for my wife. And it's basically just a lamp with a halogen bulb in it, and the bulb gets really hot and will melt the wax underneath it.
That is so much. I'm like prime for the type of guy who's going to burn their house down because I didn't blow out a candle. Yeah. That is in my personality. So
kind of scares me.
Yes, that is something I should probably invest in.
And there's a timer on it too. So you can put it on for 8 hours and then it just kills itself.
I love that. Cool.
Laptop stand. This I think is crucial. If you put your laptop on your desk, you're going to dump a coffee on it, or at least I have in the past. So I always use a laptop stand just to get my laptop up and off of the desk. And it also brings it a little closer to eye level. I have one called the Rain M Design stand. I've had it for 10 years now. It's like a solid piece of aluminum. But if I were to buy one now, I probably would buy one of the foldable ones, because then you can take it with you when you're traveling and you can just raise your laptop up a little bit if you're a external keyboard kind of person when you're out.
Yeah, we're different, man. We're different. You got the mouse, you got the keyboard on. I got mine as flat as possible. I'm on the trackpad. Right in front of you? Oh yeah, right in front of me. But then I have a monitor right here, so I'm looking into a monitor that's at my level here. So
that's a way to live. Sure.
Yeah. It's a way to live. I have another one here, the desk treadmill. The under the desk treadmill, it seems like it would be an inconvenience. It seems like it would be a bad idea. But let me tell you, what it ends up being is you end up walking on a treadmill for an hour and don't even realize it, just because you kind of have to keep walking. If you stop walking, you're going to fall off the edge of it. So you got to keep walking, right? And your body just kind of forgets that you're doing it if you're working on a coding problem. And for some reason, I also found that I like really zone in on what I'm working on when I'm walking on this thing. So a desk treadmill has been a net positive for me because as long as you actually use it, man, you can get like a good hour of walking time in a day that you might not have if you have like a standing desk. And they've gotten cheaper. They used to be like for a good, or not a good one, for, you know, the base level one was like $250, and now you can get that same base level one for $150. And if you sometimes they'll upcharge you so that it can go on an incline and stuff. Let me tell you a secret for putting it on an incline: you just stack some 2x4s underneath the front of it. Yes, that's exactly what I actually have. 2x4s in my office so that I can put it on an incline.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they've really come down, and you can also like find them on Marketplace as well, because people like me who think it's a good idea, and then
it's a hope a buy. Yeah,
6 months later you realize, I'm not actually using this thing at all.
Totally.
That's a burned dream. I have a good webcam, so hold on. I got sent this from the folks at Insta360, so full disclosure, but this is a 4K webcam that is actually really good. So I've had companies send me like 4 or 5 of their like HD webcams, and they're never very good. And I'm saying this as someone who has a $5,000 camera as a webcam. Obviously, it's not going to be that good, but I am very impressed by this. It is really high quality. It's on a swivel. So what it does is you can move anywhere on. You can move anywhere like in here, and it will follow you around like on a little gimbal, like 360 around the room. It's unbelievable how good the quality is. And then there's like a whole suite where you can like zoom in on yourself, or you can set it to just crop your face or crop your body or crop everything. And then the one thing I like it for is you can use it as a desk camera, meaning that you can put on top of your monitor, and it will, if you want to do like electronics, or you want to just show your fingers on a keyboard, or you want to do anything where you show what's on your desk, it will just go into desk mode and get your whole desk. It's a super wide lens on it. So check it out. It's called Insta360 Link 2 AI powered webcam. Everything has AI in it.
I love it. Here's a fun one to go along with that. If you have like a Sony or a Canon camera that you're using for anything really, I got this Small Rig 1. They do really nice little pieces.
Everything they do is good, yeah.
Yeah, I have this Small Rig, and I have it on my A7 III. And for us creators or whatever, oftentimes you're moving from landscape to portrait. This thing goes over, it like installs on the camera, and then watch this.
Ooh.
And so you do your tripod in here, and then now that's as simple as that. Now they have a separate one for Canon cameras or Sony cameras. I can confirm that this works with the A7 III and the FX 3 that we have that we're shooting on. So yeah, it's super nice. Damn. And it's Small Rig. Yeah, it's beast.
That's cool. So I have on here, which is a mini tripod, and this is like a tiny little compact tripod that gets fairly large, and it has a ball mount head, which I use it for when I need to turn my camera into vertical. Every now and then I'll do a video where I want it to go vertical instead of horizontal, and I'll just ball mount, bring it over. But that seems even better.
Yeah, I got a little mini tripod too. These things are great. GitHub sent me this last year. So. Oh
yeah, I bought that one on Amazon, and it was not stout enough to handle the FX3.
Oh yeah.
So I got the newer. I forget. I'll link it up. It's a newer tripod, which is NEEWER. They're another one of those companies that has pretty good stuff.
They do all my lights.
Yeah. All my lights are newer. A lot of my tripods and whatnot are newer, and I like this one quite a bit because I can like pack it up and bring it with me, throw it in a backpack, but also it just sits on my desk here as well. Thermal printer. So I did a bunch of work on controlling a printer with JavaScript, and quite a few people bought them after I had posted my video on it. And if you want to tinker around the holidays, thermal printer is a really fun thing to do with that.
Word. I have fish skin. It's my laptop. I don't know if I can see it right now. I put stickers on my computer, and that can kind of leave a whole bunch of stuff. I actually have a skin, like a black skin all over my laptop, and then I have the stickers on top of that. That way you could just pull the whole thing off. But it also would keep your laptop safe from scratches and dings and whatever that you get from just taking it around. I like fish skin. I've bought several of theirs.
All right, let's move into the kids picks that we have here. If you do not have kids, you can skip ahead a couple of minutes, but a lot of people have to buy stuff for their kids or for some kid in their life. I recently got my kids something called the Yodo player, which I know you picked the Tony box a while ago, kind of same idea.
Cool.
And the way that it works is that it's this little, I found it because I was like, my kid needs to listen to something while they fall asleep because they have trouble sleeping. And I don't want to give them an iPad because then they'll want to play Minecraft or something like that. So I was like, what do I buy? Like an MP3 player or something like that? And it turns out there's this thing called the Yodo player where you take these little NFC like credit cards, you slide it in the top and it just starts playing whatever book is on that card. And you can buy books, but they also sell blank cards that you can load up your own books on. So if you can get them from your library, or if you want to read a book aloud to your child and record it and put it on a card, and then it just stores it. It doesn't store it on a card. You have to upload it via their web system, and then it puts a little URL on the card. And I have I feel like I'm burning CDs back in the day. I have a whole collection of these stories now. And you just slot it in. You can do podcasts as well, some really cool kids podcasts. And I was very skeptical for a long time, and we got it, and it's so cool, and the kids absolutely love it.
Yeah, this does look like a newish kind of version of that. I will still shout out the Tony player because our kids go nuts for the Tony player. It's got a fun little design in it. In the stories, instead of coming on cards, they come on little figures, so the kids really like them and they can trade them and whatever. There is a lot more like Disney's on Tony box. So, my daughter will get her Frozen stuff on there. So the Tony box in general, though, since we've gotten these for our kids, when they were like 2 years old or something, they have used it every single night. They still do every night. We've gotten so much mileage out of these things. It's incredible. So yeah, my kids go nuts for these. And again, we had their grandpa read them stories on it and stuff like that too, so they can get some grandpa story time in while they're.
So do they have one where you could just put your own content on it as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it might even come with one of those. I'm not quite sure. We bought something that came with one of those from the start.
The Yodo did. I went deep into NFC hacking territory.
I'm sure.
Just trying to understand how it all works. It's cool.
I'm also going to pick a book, The First Cat in Space. There's 3 of these, and I think the latest one's coming out in November here, so maybe out by the time. There's a band that I really like, The Matches. Wes, I don't know if you heard of The Matches.
No.
They were like a California punk band from the 2000s. They kind of barely just made it onto mainstream-ish. They were signed to Epitaph for maybe their last album, and then they broke up. And man, The Matches was really one of my favorite bands. I saw them in concert a billion times, and the singer is a really interesting dude, the type of dude who you just want to follow whatever they do. And he's been writing kids books for a little while, and his latest thing was The First Cat in Space, and they're kind of like a serial book, and they're just super cute. So I really liked supporting this guy's work. So his name's Sean Harris. Anytime he comes out with anything, I make sure I scoop it up. But these are great. Cool. Kids love them.
The merch is great too.
Yeah, it's all got a good vibe. Also, our kids love bath bombs, so there's a big old bath bomb set I have on here. Our kids fight over which ones they get to have every night. They love the bath bombs. So kids' bath bombs are something they might really enjoy. We put them in their stockings and stuff. You could get the Khan Academy Kids app or the Code Spark. We do a subscription for my son for Code Spark, and it is like games where they don't even realize they're learning programming concepts. And again, my son goes nuts for it. So that's one of the few subscription things we buy for them on the iPad.
Stuff for the house. We about a year ago, we got the Roborock S8 Ultra, which is a mop and vacuum in one. And then about 6 months ago, we got the Roborock Q Revo for our cottage. The Q Revo is almost as good, and it's like half the price. Not necessarily just these two. I think they're the best out there, but something that mops and vacuums your house, very, very nice thing to have. We use ours every single day, usually 2 or 3 times a day. And it's amazing how nice it is. You don't stress about the kids making a mess anymore because after dinner, the thing goes and vacuums it on up. And like, I feel like I'm living in the future having a robot mop and vacuum your house for you.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot better. Ours is even like 4 or 5 years old, and it detects all this stuff and it seems to work just as good as it did when we first got it. We have also a Robo Rock, and they're nice for sure. We named ours so we could call it by name, so that's fun.
Oh yeah, we have Rocco and I forget the other name. What do you call yours?
Ours is named Lomax. He is named after Bernie Lomax from the movie Weekend at Bernie's, which is a favorite of ours. I also picked this WeMax Cube projector. We have this other WeMax that apparently they've stopped selling for some reason. I don't know why. So I don't have the Cube one, but I have this little WeMax, and it's powered by battery or USB-C. And man, even if you're just tossing up a sheet on the side of the house, because we did that before I got a nicer screen, even if you're just tossing a sheet on the side of the house, man, it really rules to turn on the projector and hang outside and watch some TV or a movie with the kids or something. That's just fun.
That's great. Kitchen stuff. Absolutely. Like, along with my Leatherman, one of my favorite things in the past 2 years is a carbon steel frying pan. I have been a big cast iron guy for a long time, but cast iron is too heavy, and it's a pain in the butt sometimes, right? And I love it, but you kind of just want like that plus a non-stick. So a carbon steel frying pan, properly seasoned, has been like a game changer in my life. I have a 12-inch, which is as big as you can get. I'm almost wondering if I should get a wok or find like an even bigger one, because I absolutely love it.
I wouldn't mind getting a carbon steel wok. We have a cast iron wok that is just like so heavy. It's so massive. It rules to cook in, but it is also massive.
Next one is a viral egg cooker. So I've said in the past, I do not like unitaskers, meaning that I don't like stuff in the kitchen that does one thing. But my wife got me this for Christmas last year, and I was like, this is kind of silly. And it's freaking amazing. So what it is this tiny little egg cooker where it's essentially an electric kettle. You put water in it, and you, depending on what you're doing, if you're boiling eggs or if you're doing an omelet, you just put eggs in there, put a little bit of water in, push the button, perfect eggs, absolutely every single time. So if you want like a super healthy breakfast, grab one of these things. They're dirt cheap, and they make perfect eggs absolutely every single time. It's, if you're boiling eggs or whatever, not worth it.
I do soft boiled eggs, and I actually really pride myself in how good I am at soft boiling eggs.
Yeah.
But man, if you could just stick it in this thing and say go, then
it's so the measuring cup comes with like lines on it, and it says like soft boiled egg. You fill it up to that line, perfect every single time. It's amazing.
Man, that's great. Yeah, sick. I'll have glass straws, which, you know what? You like straws. You don't want to have the billion plastic straws around the house. I like straws. So we have glass straws. They're way nice. They don't break. The kids really like them. You clean them. You just toss them in the dishwasher. They come with a little brush if you need to clean out the inside for whatever reason. But glass straws have been pretty nice.
I'll go alongside that is stainless steel straws and stainless steel. What do you call them? Asian spoons? What do you call those spoons that you eat like pho with?
Oh, like the dipper spoons?
Yeah. Chinese Asian stainless steel spoon. Yeah. Getting a stainless version of that so it just matches the rest of your cutlery. And they're like, that's a better spoon than what we have. I always give my kids those when we're having soup or anything, because like that's a better design of a spoon versus the crappy one we have.
Yeah, for real. I hear ya.
Danish whisk, very cool. If you have someone who makes pancakes or bread or something like that, somebody gifted me a Danish whisk a couple of years ago, and I'm surprised at how much I like it. It looks kind of silly, but the Danes know what they're doing. OXO salt and pepper grinders. Again, I did the research. for way too long on what the best salt and pepper grinder is, and I found it. It's the OXO one. It's not a beautiful set of pepper grinders, but it is the best. Every day I use it. I'm like, this is nice. A Wusthof Nakiri knife. My wife gave me this probably 4 years ago, and it's the perfect amount of, you want a nice knife, but you don't want to be a knife guy. You know,
I don't want to be a knife guy.
You don't want to be those people that have to like, don't leave the knife in the sink, or don't put the knife in the dishwasher. I don't care that much. I just want a really nice sharp knife that is really enjoyable to use. And I got the 7-inch Nakiri knife, and it's like the ultimate slice and dice, chopping, pretty much all around good kitchen knife. Big fan of that.
I really want at least just one good knife. We have the same knives that we got when we were married, and they were not great then, and they're, especially not great after we put them through the dishwasher 100 times. So,
we didn't know. I put mine through the dishwasher probably like every day for 4 years, probably thousands of times. And it's amazing. But you know why people think that knives don't get good? It's because they don't sharpen them. My next pick.
There's actual reasons why you don't want to put a knife in the dishwasher.
But I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I really want to get a fancy knife from this place, Carbon Knife Co. in Denver. I follow this place on Instagram, and they have all these fancy Japanese knives. And I just think one day I'm going to get one of these nice knives. One day.
One day. Alongside that, if you do like having sharp knives, get these. This is a pretty big buy-in, but you can get paper wheels for a bench grinder. So you go get a bench grinder or whatever, and you put these wheels on top, and they're made of paper, and you put a little bit of a sharpening rouge on it, and you can get the like most killer sharp edge on your knives using these paper wheels. It's unbelievable how good it is. You have to have like a workshop where you can set up a whole bench grinder, but
if you're not like that, you could get just a normal whetstone. And I have a whetstone here. I use my whetstone, and in fact, you inspired me to sharpen my knives more. So, man, I sharpen my knives, and I just did it the other day, and I gotta say, it makes such an impact whenever you do it, for sure.
Yeah, and like bring the whetstone to family and friends or on vacation. That's something. So we rent out our cottage a couple times a year, and I pride myself on having good knives because I've rented so many cottages over the years, and they always have crappy knives in there. And it's like, I'm on vacation. If you enjoy cooking, don't you want nice things when you're on vacation?
Yeah, it's a thing you might notice. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure. I get that. I'm gonna have two things here. I've stick picked these multiple times, which is the can tumbler glasses. They're glasses that look like a can. They're nice and thick. I use these things for everything. This is like the only drinking glass I use for anything. It's perfect size of a can. It's like, here's a LaCroix can. Here it is. Same shape, just about the same size. So I really like these. And they're fairly cheap. I also like this. This is so funny. I was just using this the other day, and I was thinking, my mom got this for us. And I was thinking, this is the nicest thing that you wouldn't expect. It's a squirrel-shaped rice paddle. And the reason why this is cool is not because it's a squirrel-shaped, but because it is this shape. When you put it on its little feet, the paddle never touches the counter. So you can scoop and set it down on its little feet, and then the paddle, which is its tail, just kind of hangs in the air. And I love this thing. It's super cute. Our kids love it, but most importantly, it's super practical.
Man, so I'm going to get that because I'm a big fan of the Splatipus, which is a jar scraper.
Yes. Oh, we have that as well. Yes.
Man, my sister gave me the Splatipus maybe 3 years ago. It's kind of like a... I don't know, what would you call it? Like a spatula. Oh, it's a spatula that's shaped like a platypus bill. And if you're putting butter on something, making a peanut butter and jam, or you need to scrape a jar out nice and cleanly,
Splatipus.
Major. I didn't realize there was is this by the same company?
I have no idea.
No, it's not. Rice cooking. Oh, I'm going to get this. This is great.
Yeah, love it.
Eatables. Here are my top 4 hot sauces. I don't know if they're my top ones, but these are great gifts where it's not like you're giving somebody francs, you know? Truff hot sauce, truffle flavored, very good. Secret Aardvark is kind of a thick, almost like a salsa one, and all of these have packs where like if you have somebody in your life that likes hot sauce, get them a pack of several. That's the best gift ever. but get them like nice ones. I've had people get me like a TJ Maxx hot sauce pack, and it's like, these are not very good. Cholula gift pack is really good. Big fan of Cholula, which is a pretty accessible hot sauce, but they have like 6 different flavors, and you can have a little taster.
Yeah, I like these Murph's ones from Denver. They're kind of local to us. So we see Murph's around and about in Denver, but the jalapeno lime hot sauce is like one of my favorite things. It's very nice and refreshing.
Oh, yeah. Love that. And then Bakkens. This is something you turned me on to. We didn't have it in Canada for the longest time, so I had to get it when I was in the States. But it's like this Japanese barbecue sauce. It's almost like a flavored soy sauce.
Yeah,
so
it's like a thin teriyaki kind of. Man, we make salmon and broccoli and rice. I just pour it all over there. Man, it is my favorite. I wear my Bakkens shirt all the time. In fact, I was at a breaking battle and I was wearing my Bakkens shirt and somebody looked at me and they go, "Dude."
Yeah.
like, whoa, I love Bakkens.
That's the buy for someone in your life who's a condiment enthusiast. They probably already have Bakkens, but they don't have the tea, I bet. All right, let's wrap it up here with smart home. Probably the best gift you can give somebody, I think, is a smart dimmer. I'm a big fan of the Leviton ones. Lutron makes some really good ones. Do not buy Wise ones. I don't even know if they make a dimmer, but the Wise switches, I love Wise products, but their switches have terrible Wi-Fi chips in them, and they're always disconnected. So the Leviton ones are fantastic, and they go really low as well, which is kind of important when you have LED lights. You want to get them as low as you can. And then if you have a hacker in your life, buy him an ESP32, which is a Wi-Fi little board. They're like $5 a piece. And then a bunch of WS2815 LED strips. That's a very fun thing to hack on. I've done that many times where you build custom lighting with LED strips.
Yeah, you gotta kind of know that the person is into that, though. Because
yes, you gotta make sure they're hackers. But also, people listening to this are probably thinking, what should I ask for? And if you need like a $25 gift to ask somebody for, that's the move right there.
Yeah, I do the Lutron Caseta, I think the Diva dimmers, which like they're expensive, so you do like 1 or 2 every now and then, and eventually, you hope the whole house will get done. But yeah, I'm doing kind of one at a time here and there, and I really like the dimmers. But yeah,
the Miros ones are good as well. I have a bunch of Miros stuff, and they are going pretty heavily into like the Matter smart home protocol.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I haven't switched anything over to Matter yet, but I know eventually everything will be Matter. I hope. So I'm always trying to think, okay, is this feature compatible? Because the last thing I want is an incompatible light switch. What a nightmare that is.
Word. Yeah,
Cool.
That's the best part about the Diva ones is that they work like normal ass light switches. If they're not smart, you would never know. Yeah, I know.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that's jam packed.
Yes.
So hopefully your stockings are as packed as this episode was. We're not going to do sick picks today because this whole episode was sick picks.
The whole sick pick episode, yeah.
Yeah. Shamelessly plug, head out on YouTube. We're on YouTube, folks. youtube.com/@syntaxfm. We release all kinds of stuff from deep dives to full-on tutorials to video episodes of this podcast. If you want to just see Wes and I shoving stuff into the camera like we did in this episode, you got it on the Syntax YouTube channel. So check us out.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Happy holidays. Peace.
Bye.